My name is Joy. I've been at Reason for a year and a few months, and I am a first-year medical student. So what led me to med school, I actually was not a pre-med until I graduated college. So I studied bioengineering, and I thought I wanted to do a PhD, go into academia, become a professor. But after I graduated, I started working in a lab. I like the idea of building like new therapies that could heal a lot of people, but I think I wasn't really connected with the day-to-day work. It felt a little mundane for me. I started volunteering at a local hospital that had cared for my aunt and grandma before they passed away, and I realized I really liked that FaceTime interaction with patients. And so speaking of my aunt and my grandma, my family were from Indonesia. My aunt was born with a hole in her heart, and she wasn't expected to live past her teens. But with medical intervention, she was able to give birth to my two older cousins and live until she was 69. So that was really incredible. And my grandma, so my mom's mom, they overcame homelessness and poverty to send my mom and my aunt here for better education and to get my aunt that medical care she needed. So I think that's kind of what planted the seed to want to go into medicine. I didn't think that I had the guts to go into medicine. It seemed kind of scary to be dealing with people's lives. But after volunteering and doing a lot of these other clinical experiences, I realized I wanted to go into medicine. These days, what keeps me going is wanting to become a doctor that people's loved ones would want caring for them, just like how the doctors cared for my aunt and our family. Yeah, so I've been an athlete since I was 6 years old. I was a swimmer for like 15 years of my life, all throughout college as well. And then after college, I stopped swimming. I didn't really want to smell chlorine anymore for a while, so I started going to gyms. During that moment where I was in my gap years trying to apply for medical school, I also went to NorCal where I was part of a gym. I really liked the community there. I liked how all the coaches knew my name. And then I moved back home, and I was also looking for that same kind of community, that same kind of vibe. And I found Reason through Yelp, actually. I was looking for a gym. We recently moved from Pasadena to Arcadia, and I wanted a gym that was close by. And then I found Reason, and I was a little hesitant to join at first because I saw that it was a CrossFit gym, and I had heard things about CrossFit like you could get injured really easily and it makes you really buff and bulky, and so I was initially hesitant to join, but I came in, I spoke with all of the coaches. I really liked how small the class sizes were and how all the coaches really got to know you. They wanted to know how your day was. They remembered who you were. They would say hi every single time I came through the door. And I just really liked the small classes, so the coaches could see if I'm doing something wrong technique-wise, and so I wouldn't get injured. And I really like the community. I've made a lot of friends here. Normally, I'm someone who just goes to the gym and then goes out. I'm all about efficiency, like going to the next thing. But here, I really found my community. I like to stay after class and talk with my friends. And so instead of being like a chore, like something I need to do, going to the gym is more like an outlet, and it's actually really fun and something I look forward to. Yeah, it's definitely not easy managing medical school and it's not easy balancing medical school and gym. Coming into medical school, I heard you have to sacrifice gym. Sometimes you can only go once or twice a week, but I wanted to make gymming a priority, like coming here at least 4 times a week. And with that, I knew that I would have to become really efficient at studying, but also maybe sacrifice some sleep sometimes, which I know is not the best. So I do have to stay up a little later, like midnight, just to get everything done, and then I wake up at 5 a.m. to come to class at 5:30, and then from there I feel really recharged and ready to start the day. Yes, actually just last week I had my very first time where I freaked out and I didn't think I could do medical school and I thought I would drop out. But luckily I go to med school only 20 minutes away from home. So I live at home. I have a great support network, my mom, my 3 dogs, my partner, And every time I'm like, is it okay? What happens if I like drop out? It's not the end of the world. So I just keep that in mind, that I just have to keep doing my best, adapting, trying new things, but I just have to keep going, taking it day by day, and I think that I'll survive. Fitness-wise, as you know, CrossFit, there's a lot of gymnastics things. So even though I was an athlete, I was pretty new to doing, for example, handstand push-ups or kipping pull-ups. So that was really difficult. And then I also didn't know how to do double unders for the longest time. But I knew that I didn't want to keep doing modified workouts. I wanted to continue progressing and eventually get to the highest level. So I am doing PT lessons with Coach Ed, and now I can do double unders, I can do kipping pull-ups, I can do handstand push-ups. I think growing up, I had a lot of body issues, as many people do, and I worked out to burn off calories that I ate, and I was obsessed with appearance and looking thin. But now, as I've gotten older and coming to a gym that really encourages you to be your strongest and be your best, I just want to lift the heaviest that I can and be my strongest, and do my best. Even if my progress is slow, I just want to keep improving. So I guess that's both physically, and mentally. I just want to keep gymming no matter how hard things get outside of school, outside of the gym. I want that to be a part of my routine so that I can keep filling up my own cup as I continue trying to care for others, because you can't care for others if your cup is empty. So I try to keep that in mind. Yes, it's definitely the handstand push-ups. When I first came to Reason and I saw people doing that, I was like, my mind was blown. I couldn't even imagine doing a handstand in the first place. I was scared to do it, but I started off with Coach Ed just using a box, doing handstand push-ups, and then eventually using that box to get my feet on the wall, and then progressively lowering that box, and then to the point where I don't need anything anymore and I can just hop and do it. And once I was able to do it, it was pretty easy for me to actually do the strict handstand push-ups. I realized a lot of it was in my head. I was really scared of doing it, the movement at first, but once I did it, I was really proud of myself. I would say I just want to keep being consistent, keep coming 3 to 4 times a week to the gym. I don't have any particular goals. I guess every week we're in a cycle, I want to continue lifting a little bit heavier and finishing workouts a little faster. Definitely prioritize what you want. Be very intentional with your time, and make sure that you have a good balance of self-care while you're caring for others or working at your job. And don't give up, even though days can be hard. It's important to keep going, and also to let go of this perfectionist mindset that you need to have everything, be everything, and do everything. It's okay to have bad days as long as you give your 100%, whatever that looks like for you for that particular day. I think most people would be surprised to know that it's taken me several tries to get into medical school. Medical school isn't really easy to get into in the first place, and I am now older than a lot of my classmates, but I'm actually really grateful for those years that I didn't get in, because on this 3rd try that I got into my dream medical school where I don't have to pay for tuition, I could stay at home, I can continue working out at this gym that I consider my home, my second home, my community. And so I think everything happens for a reason, and through all of those years, they weren't wasted. I continue to grow physically and mentally to be where I am today. I would just encourage people, yes, failure or embarrassing yourself is very scary, but it's inevitable if you're going to try something new and you want to grow. So even if you're scared, do it anyways. Try anyways. Don't be afraid of looking embarrassed, because you're your own harshest critic. Everybody else is concerned about themselves, so do it for you, do it for your family. My name is Joy, and I'm a Reason athlete.